This week is going to be immunity and the lymphatic system. I know there's a couple of terms in here about cancer. We've already kind of done that, and you don't have any exercises relating to doing anything with cancer. But here's where the lecture videos are found. I hope those help. This subject right here is kind of a detailed subject. The third video goes over what is called specific immunity. You might want to watch that. Here's the outline for this section. It's got everything in it. And then you're going to need this ABO group, wherever it went. Let's see right there. That's for lab, and I'll go over that with you too. Well, I made a lab video to show you what you're going to be doing, so definitely watch that. There's a PowerPoint on your discussion this week. I believe it's got two parts. It does. Explain the difference between primary immune response and secondary immune response. And do you believe that individuals should be vaccinated for certain diseases? The primary and secondary immune response is the very end of the outline. I made a video about that. The primary immune response is first exposure to a foreign antigen. And it's slower, longer lag time. You get a lot less of what are called the antigen, well, the B cell, T cell. B cells make antibodies. T cells directly attack foreign antigens, and it's all the way at the bottom. There's the first and second line of defense. There's a little bit on the lymphatic system. And there it is. Primary immune response, first exposure to a foreign antigen, the secondary, and then here's a graph. And I talked about all that. That part's pretty detailed. And then in the homework, you're going to be answering, keep going past that. List the components of the first line of defense. There's two of those. It's skin and mucous membranes. Talk about that in the outline. Describe the defense mechanism. Okay, that's going to say pick one part of what's called the second line of defense. And what does the term immunocompromised mean? So that's going to be your homework. The lab experiment is over the ABO blood groups, because when you cover immunity, you have to cover these as well. There's a graph here, and I actually gave you a handout for that, and I made a video. And you're going to be going through and so I made a video about it, but you're going to have to do some terms on blood transfusions. Most people know this. If you're type A blood, you cannot donate to somebody who's type B. So the first question is, explain the basis of ABO blood groups. In other words, just explain what makes you type A, type B, type AB, and type O. This one, patient A has A positive blood type. I actually went through that one with you. Who can you donate to? Who can you receive from? Well, there's actually a chart in the ABO handout and this one as well. It tells you who they can donate, who can they receive from. You have to make sure you keep the pluses and minuses. I'm B negative. Some of you are probably either positive or negative. That has to do with what's called the Rh factor. It's named after the rhesus monkey, which is a lab primate they use to do a lot of testing on, and that particular monkey and humans have an antigen D, they call it, and that's called the Rh factor. And it means if you're plus, you have the Rh factor, and if you're negative, you do not. You also have to keep that in mind when you're doing blood transfusion. Somebody who's negative cannot receive positive blood. I see. Okay, anyway, explain why a person with type AB blood is called universal recipients, because they don't have any antibodies. I'll go over that. Explain why a person's type O, it's because they don't have any antigens, so there's nothing that causes trouble. And then what's the difference between Rh positive and Rh negative? So that is the lab, and then the quiz, as always, will be 20 questions over the outline stuff that we covered. Okay, so email me if you have any questions.